Hello, it's Blockchain here coming at you with another technical analysis update. For those of you just tuning in, I'm primarily an Elliott Wave trader using other areas of Confluence and other technical analysis to really complement my price analysis. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the charts. Alright guys, before we dive into the charts, of course we're starting off on blockchain tatrading.com. Made some pretty sweet improvements if you ask me. You might notice if you've been here before, got this awesome little ticker here showing the current prices of coins. If you are new to my site, right below it, a little about me and of course my #1 trading strategy that I'm giving away for free. So make sure you click the get in touch and submit a little basically just name and email, and I will actually email you over a video of my free demonstration of my #1 trading strategy that's consistent, profitable, reliable, and applicable to any market. If you also want to go up here, you can also create a profile, same thing, name and email. You actually do a little drop down and you'll also get the video. It is on the site as well. So another way of viewing it. I would recommend creating a profile if you have not already, as I'm going to be adding additional content for members of the website only. But you can always subscribe to get updates as well from some of the things I'm doing at the same time. Right below that, of course, is the services for the Discord. Obviously, $25 a month if you're already a member. If you're not, definitely recommend you join. Actually, from the last trade, there were several members that were able to take a couple trades that I was highlighting and made a couple years of subscription fees off of one trade. So definitely pays for it with the value that's in there and the education. We have the 1 year for $147, which is 50% off the monthly rate if you were to purchase for a year. And we also have an exclusive launch for the Shiler, who's a crypto hippo, for his Elliott Wave Masterclass, and soon is actually going to be another education course coming up soon. So I'll keep you on the loop for that. Make sure you subscribe to get email updates of when that launches. Other awesome updates that I've done, if you actually go over here, there is actually live prices and news. So you can actually go through, really get the top 50 coins that are out there, and as well as get your own little chart. You can actually even choose what coin you want by typing up here and selecting whatever you'd like to do. It'll upload it, and you can even chart on here with some indicators and whatnot. So pretty sweet. And of course we can get news so that we kind of see what the sentiment's out there from all around. Also not excluding the traditional markets. There is a page for you as well, as you know, trading is in a couple different areas and has the preferences whether it's traditional market or crypto as well. So same thing on this particular page. And last but not least, all my most recent YouTube videos have been uploaded on this particular page as well, so you can actually check them all out in one little quick shop if you're not on YouTube. But the whole idea, guys, I'm just trying to create value. So if you have feedback on my site, things you want me to add, things you want me to take off that's not beneficial, make sure you put it in, send me an email, put it in the comments of this YouTube video, whatever the case may be. And of course, smash the likes, subscribe, and just put a general comment down in the bottom as well. So hope to see you guys in the Discord, because that's actually where I'm going to start off. So from the last video, this was the trade that I was looking for. I was looking for a long up to 206, 209, 212, and right up here was 216 on ETH. Given updates, obviously, as it was playing out, held my position all the way up to the 216 mark, where I did take profits and actually enter in a short based upon this technical analysis here. Of quick rundown of the Discord while we're in here. There's a lot of trading basics, some introductory as well as some advanced trading education, general chat where we can trade alongside each other, as well as the elite traders that are full-time traders with different trading styles, all right here. So tons of value. And then going into signals, and even down here, there's a little bit more discussion and feedback where we can, all my members can answer or ask questions on whatever charts or feedback that we have. So let's go ahead and dive into the chart real quick. We'll look at ETH right here on the daily. And we're right up here on the fib line of this descending channel we've been in from the $360 mark. We're right at the 0.236 fib level of the channel, bashing our heads against it quite a few times and just really can't break it. So that's been pretty difficult for us to break. I'd probably say about 6 different times we've tried to break it and have been unsuccessful every single time. If we do get a break of that, I would expect us to get a test back around the 250, 260 mark, right up in here at the top of the channel overall, before breaking any higher than that. But of course, we'd want to make sure we break this, and we want to break it with conviction, just like we did here, and we want to maintain it. And we don't want to just kind of pop up with a little wick and then right back down through. As we all know, we've seen that happen several times in a lot of different scenarios before in the past. So that is what we'd want to pay attention to. Now, overall, I've had a lot of discussion in my prior videos to whether this is impulsive or whether it's corrective. If we get that next move up to really 252, I would probably lean more towards the impulsive side, just overall based on the count. It is really this structure right here in the middle that's throwing me off to make it a little bit more of a corrective wave. And what I mean by a corrective wave, just a 3-wave move from down here to where basically I have a 3-wave here. Potentially something such as so, but it's all going to depend how it plays out. Because even a WXYXZ is probably be the way that I would be leaning for this to be a corrective wave, just because this move right here in the middle, it's really hard to count this as a wave 1 and then make this a wave 3. Is it possible? Yes, it doesn't exactly break any of the Elliott wave rules. So it is still on the table to make this a wave 3. And what I mean by that, basically we would start our wave 1 right here. I'm just going to start it outside so it can be a little bit cleaner count. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'd be coming up right now for the 5th and look for something like that. And you can see right here, right here so far, it looks pretty 3-wave-ish, especially since we've gotten this rejection here. It's going to be interesting to see, how it overall plays out. And that's what I'm going to dive into on the smaller time frame. Now, if this was our rejection here, we could be getting another 3-wave corrective, such as an ABC. Where we'd be coming back down for a C wave, retesting the 180 area-ish, or 185 area on ETH, and see what kind of reaction we get from there. But of course, it's all going to come down to the smaller time frames. Real quick, looking at the daily on the Gann chart for ETH, lined up with this resistance zone quite perfectly. Again, if we break that, depending how quick we get up there, 250. We're looking at the 236 zone right here for this time fractal, to where we could potentially see that move up and get a rejection down. As with the time fractals, that's when we tend to see prices reverse, and it tends to be closer to where there are pivots on these lines, and so that's something we'll be looking for. But next area again of resistance, we're looking at the 250, 230, depending on what the fib extensions are, and I'll cover those in smaller time frames as well. And there is support around 170, 176. Obviously, we'll have a couple bounces here with the all the EMAs and everything below us. So actually, let's flip back to overall the daily. Look at a couple of the key indicators here. So on the derivative oscillator, we are starting to curl up a little bit, but what It doesn't look. There we go. Let's get back over to ETH here. Sorry, not Bitcoin. That's why it looked a little bit off. All right, so for ETH, what I was looking for earlier is you can see where we had this little two-step right here and where we had our downward momentum. We kind of had the same thing right here. We had a little stutter step with our two-step to go down, came back up with a little bit of momentum, and then we just lost it almost immediately. Similar setup for what it's looking for. Right here we had our little two-step. Obviously not quite as significant of a drop, but you can see how pretty similar these tops structures have been so far, if it is a top, as well as the derivative oscillator. This right here is pretty similar to this right here, so it'll be interesting to see if we do get a pretty heavy rejection here, and if we start to make the same formation. But at the current moment, it is looking fairly strong. However, right here, where the white line for this EMA is right in the middle, if we do kind of bounce here and start to curl here over the next day, that's would be a fairly bearish sign that we'll have some continuation to the downside. Looking at the RSI. Nice to see that it came down. We found some support right here on the bottom of the bearish control zone. Wicked through the volume band, popped right back up, and retested the fast-moving EMA, and found down and got some support off of it, and then bounced right back up. And now currently right at resistance on the bottom of the bullish control zone, and as well as the fast-moving EMA at the same time. Give me one sec, guys. All right, sorry guys, I was having issues with my mic before. It probably is going to be a little echoey on this particular one. I've been having a few issues with it, but anyway, we are testing the bottom of the bullish control zone, as well as for finding some resistance right here on the slower moving EMA. Now, if we do break through it, that'll be a pretty good sign. We'll have some continuation towards the top of the bullish control zone here, maybe even higher and go through it. But right now we're at some pretty heavy resistance, right there in this particular area. If we do get a rejection, we'll probably come back down, find a little bit of support, depending on the move right here on the fast moving EMA, which is the green one, and potentially bounce around a little bit before breaking one way or another. All right, on the composite index, it's getting up a little bit higher. Let me see. We are fairly, we're topped pretty evenly going across, so we do have a little bit of bearish divergence, not a lot. So we'll kind of see what this ultimately plays out to be. I wouldn't exactly call it as such currently, but on the composite index, we do have our faster moving EMA, the green one, which is curling back up, and if we do get a cross over our slower moving EMA, we'll put it back into some bullish territory. So it's something I'm looking for right here in regards to some of the indicators. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the 4 hour real quick. And let me actually clear off some of this because this is the second time doing this video. Oops, like I said, I was having some mic issues, did like a 30-minute ETH video. It was pretty epic and awesome, and you couldn't hear me at all on the entire thing. So this is what I was looking for overall, if this to be a potential bullish move, and for our wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is how I would count the structure. Okay, now wave 3 with this particular move would be overextended, hitting the 2.236. So potentially coming up and getting a double top back up here at 230, or getting a little bit of overextension to around 250. That's where we would get that particular. That's how I got those numbers from pulling the fib extensions off of the wave 1. That would be wave 1 here. Okay, now if this is corrective, this guy would come down here to the bottom, and being corrective, this puts us right here at the 1.618, which is the max that we can go for a corrective wave. And then again, looking at the daily, if we did this as a W, X, Y, or X, Z, That's how I would count it. And right here is what is making me lean towards that, just because, you know, pretty big third wave with a, you know, drawn out fourth wave. You know, it just right, this whole section right here is shouting three wave to me. But we'll see. You know, it's not invalidated. I just don't like the waves formation personally. I don't like the structure and the symmetry of it, but that's me. It's not invalidated anyway right now from an Elliott wave perspective. But, you know, again, just how we kicked off, you know, right here, that's three wave. I don't know how else to count it. So that's what's making me lean a little bit more towards the bearish side at the moment. And we would, you know, see a little bit more continuation going to the downside. Let's look at the again on ETH here on the 4 hour. Okay. All right, so we're kind of in the middle of nowhere at the moment, but you can kind of see our formation is following somewhat of the peak that we have here. You know, when on the Gann chart, when we have these crosses, that tends to be where we have our breaks from supports and resistances. So you can see broke it right here. You know, this whole area, I'd consider it a cross. You know, right here, we broke through it as a cross. Same thing right here, we broke through it, coming up to a cross right there, broke through it, and we came up to a cross on the intersection of those lines. So right here, you know, is going to be pretty strong resistance. You know, if we get up back up towards the top of the channel, again, this is the 4 hour, so we'd be looking roughly around 220, somewhere in that ballpark, which, you know, it's not off the table, with support down here roughly around the 195. We do have a time fractal coming up on the 21st of May, and that's something we, you know, potentially pay attention to. Now, time fractals can happen a little before, a little after, right on. You know, they're not exactly 100%, but it tends to be where we have a pivot in the price action. You can see, you know, we got a pretty solid one here. Again, right here called the bottom. Right here was a little bit later, but, you know, again, we got that change of direction where we were starting to slope down and then started to curl back up and got the move up. So we'll see what we get as we get a little bit closer, because whatever way we are going, generally it tends to, you know, be the opposite. It tends to, you know, shift. So let's go ahead and dive into the 15-minute real quick. All right, and this is the hour. Let's get the 15-minute. All right, so this is what I was highlighting in the Discord, guys. So this is the juicy stuff. So I hope that everyone stuck around to catch this. All right, so right here, again, I'm going to clear more of this off and just redo it so that we can see my thought process. All right, so right here is what I was talking about in the Discord for an expanded flat. Right here is what I was really paying attention to from this bounce. You know, I wasn't in a position, you know, really throughout right here. It wasn't exactly the clearest formation, but as we started to get this move up and came back down, it's when I saw that, you know, we set in our higher low, saw that we're starting to change our direction. So paying attention to this guy right here is what gave it to me. So if this was our low, have our A wave, right? Now, this was without using any kind of indicators. 100% Elliott wave is what I took these trades on. So if we moved up with this potentially to be a wave A or a wave 1, because you can see it was a 5-wave structure, came back down for a B and then up again for a C. Now, what wanted to be and what, you know, told me to take the trade right here was, one, if this was a wave 3, it would have came back down and then finished off for a wave 5 of wave 3 right here at the 1.618. So when we had this retrace, I was expecting another move up, because if it starts with 5, it ends with 5. So we had a 5-wave, 3-wave down, another 5-wave move up, and this was a chance for the bulls to set in and get a 5-wave completed structure. Well, right here is not a 5-wave completed structure, but even if my count was wrong, shorting up here towards the top and stacking in a few shorts was a safe bet, because whether it's a C wave or a 3-wave at the 1.618, we're going to have a retracement, unless we have an overextended 3rd wave, which is possible, but it doesn't have, it's not as common. So I took the short here, wrote it down, being that we were able to really watch this move down and see that it was kicking off and it had 5-wave moves in it. So I stayed in the position knowing that with this move down, if it started with 5, again, it's got to end with 5, right? So that was my indication that we were not going to see continuation to the upside right out of the gate to have this an impulsive wave. I knew that this was then an A wave, turning this into another ABC expanded flat scenario. Another way that I was looking at this to be the expanded flat is if you take the fib retracement right here, it hit the 1.236 perfect, to the T for an expanded flat. Knowing that we got the expanded flat position, we were going to have an extended C wave. Okay, so we can take our trend-based fib for our A, B, and our C. I'll slide this over so it's a little bit clearer. All right, so you can see, boom, right here, we had the 1.618, which is the expanded C pocket for an expanded flat. Knowing that this is an ABC structure and it's not impulsive, I was able to exit my short and stack in longs, rode the longs all the way up to what those targets were before that I showed you in the Discord, all the way up to the 216 mark. How did I get those targets? No, again, knowing that this is a corrective move, you take your A, or the extensions from your A, and your B. And that's how you project out your C. So that's what I was looking for. I was looking for roughly the 1-to-1, the 1.236, 1.382, 1.618. Those were my take profit positions. And again, being that it's a 5-wave move, for a C wave, know that it had to play out with a full 5 waves. And it's pretty clear, again, from a 5-wave structure that this was your 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up on your 5th. If you wanted to, again, pull your fib extensions for your wave 1, you can see right here, got a little bit of an overextended on your 3rd wave and a very extended 5th wave. So you can see that we still hit the 1.6 or 1.618 expanded C pocket with a shorter wave 1 because we got the expanded wave 5. Okay, so that was my thought process overall in the move, and then obviously seeing how strong this was my indication that we were going to get up to the 1.618. And for those of you in the Discord, I know everyone got some juicy profits and probably paid for a couple of years of the Discord from that one trade, so it's good to see. Being that, again, we're at that 1.618, even if my count was wrong and this was a wave 1 coming down for a 2, then up for a 3, that 1.618, again, I knew was going to be the max, so I did exit my long and actually stacked in shorts, in which I am still short at the moment as we have this move down. I was looking for a C wave down for a 5-wave structure, and it kind of looks like we may still be forming that as we move down, and that's what this the fib projections are on this particular guy for potentially an A, B, and then down for a C. It doesn't seem to be exactly moving the quickest, but it's okay because it's not invalidated to be a C wave at the moment. So some of the other indicators that I'm looking at, you can see right here that we've bounced off the volume band 3 times in a row. Again, boom, boom, boom. Got a little bit of a move up, but you can kind of see how much RSI has actually reset, and even on the composite index, we're up past 50 again, which in my eyes says we're going to have continuation to the downside. As this thing resets back upwards towards the top. RSI are getting squeezed in between the fast and slow EMA, and we are still in the bearish control zone on the RSI. We haven't even broken that back up out of the bearish control zone yet. So that's what I'm looking for. Still pointing a little bearish in my opinion. We do have this entire move right here on the derivative oscillator. We do have upward momentum that is declining, So pretty bearish so far from what I'm seeing on some of these indicators as well. So I'll look for continuation to the downside. We'll probably play on some of these fib lines on the channel. So looking for a retest of around 2.6 or 206, depending on the overall move. We could potentially see a retest back down here of the channel of around 197. To the $200 mark, depending exactly where and how quick we go, because obviously these 2 points will intersect at some point in time as well, right? So that also 1.618 would be a three-wave move, making this a WXY instead of an ABC, just because we had this three-wave move in the, which then would be the Y wave. So that's what I'm looking for in ETH, and those are my targets I'm looking for currently. Obviously, if we start to get a move up, I'll start to reevaluate my position. But currently, I am looking for a little bit further move in continuation to the downside. So let's actually go ahead and dive into the gain real quick on the 1 hour. A little bit clearer, I think, on the 1 hour than what the 4 hour was. You can see, right up here was our chance to break through. We had our intersection of our trend lines, and we just got a rejection. Pretty nice pivot in time for the time fractal, called it, we're pretty much right to the T again. If we're going up, time fractals generally indicate a reversal, which is what we got. And again, it happened a little before, a little bit sooner. This one obviously happened a little bit sooner, but every point in these time fractals, we tend to see some pretty decent reactions from. So we do have another one that is coming up on May 21st on the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is, obviously not as strong as what the 4 hours and the dailies are, but still tend to see reactions in those particular areas. Looking for, supports on this particular trend line here around the 206, $200 mark as we come down. Again, these crosses or these intersections on support these trend lines here is generally where we tend to see the breaks happening. So again, we got closer to here, broke up, had an intersection here, broke up, right here, obviously intersection broke through quite a bit. So let's tend to see where we see, reactions. We can also, trend sideways till we get right here and then get our break up, and that'll put us, back upwards towards, the 220 mark. A heavier one right up here at the, it'll be about 225 in that ballpark as well. So, but immediate, support and resistances, 200 to 205, as well as getting up here towards 216. If we do break the 216, that would give us a move up to 230, which was also a fib extension for a potential move for a fifth wave going to the upside as well. So that does match up and line up nicely. So we'll see. It's what we're looking for. But personally looking for a little bit more continuation to the downside, and we'll watch to see ultimately how this plays off. If we kick off from a low and a 5-wave formation, that's how we know we'll get a little bit more continuation to the upside and start to look at some of the upside targets still. But right now, still looking for continuation to the downside until we see something, or until I personally see something that tells me it's going to reverse. And we're also right here. I think this is the 618 trend line. Yep, sure is. We've been bashing our head against the 618 trend line as well. So pretty heavy resistance currently where we are. If we do break it, it needs to be with conviction. So we need to get a big green candle that goes, pretty strong to the upside. And not a what I'd call a swing fail where we get the wick up and then just immediate rejection and we just dump hard. So that's what I'll be looking for personally in my personal setups for over the next little bit. So again, guys, if you like my content, make sure you guys smash the likes, and I will see you guys in the Discord.